Yeah. Marvelous. Sportsholes Radio. Sports Show. Shout out to Chuck, AJ, Smoke, Steve. Let's get into it. Yeah. Like to welcome y'all to Sportholes and Sports Radio. Introducing your hosts, Chuck, AJ, and Smoke. When they hear the latest news on every sport play review, grab a seat, kick your feet, this is a good day to view. They cover all topics from football to basketball. Numbers don't lie, and every show they got the stats for y'all. They gon' give you the real, no sugarcoating. Anything you wanna hear, they keep the discussion open. It's Sportholes Radio. This is an amazing show. Sports Center with realness and edge. This the way to go. We gon' keep it booming. The best show, I'm assuming. It's time for Sportholes, Sports Radio. Tune in.
We back. What's going on, world? Sportsholes Radio. It's your host, Smoke the Dude, and the Sportsholes crew is back for another week of chopping it up, doing what we normally do, keeping it real. And we couldn't find a suitable topic or title for this show, so I just named it What's on the Minds of the Sportsholes Crew. So we'll just be touching on various topics, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Chuck got some theories he can throw out there or something for us or whatever. But we're going to do what we normally do and get to it. But before we do anything, I got to bring the crew in. AJ, what's good?
What's popping? I'm in the building.
Pretty loud and clear.
Yep, resident asshole. Right back at it again, as you know. So, I mean, it's time to another day, in another week, in another show, in the minds of the Sportsholes assholes. So, it is what it is. We got a few things we want to talk about, you know. Nothing as, you know, definite and finite as we've been having, but, I mean, it's a little bit of everything. This is kind of probably going to be a really good show because this is one of those shows where we can just kind of go everywhere.
Well, you know, we got the Final Four is coming up after, you know, this week's set of shows. So, you know, next week we'll have, you know what I'm saying, definitely those results to talk about, and we'll be a little closer to the end of the NBA season and, you know, a few more days into the sports world. So, yeah.
Baseball about to kick off.
Yes, sir. Yankees all the way. You already know.
New. Great. No evil empire.
Evil empire is back.
No.
But before we start running our mouths too much, let me go ahead and bring in the stat man. Let me see if he live. Stat man, you live on the air. What's good?
What up? Smoke, AJ, the stat man. What up, William?
It's good. What you conjuring up in your head over there?
Checking out the McDonald's All-American game, the next wave of NBA superstars, and seeing who's going to emerge as a future stud that we'll be discussing on our show, and sometime eventually soon maybe get to interview a couple of these guys.
I hope so.
That would be great.
It will be great.
That's what's up.
Seeing we can get a hold of Zion Williamson, because next year he'll be playing in the game, so maybe we might.
Y'all already know I'm working on that. Y'all already know I'm working on that hard too. Listen, I'm trying to do it without feeling like I'm stalking the dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got, and with him being in 10th grade, it's kind of touchy feely. You know, you can't.
Nah, he's a junior.
I mean,
we gotta get him this year.
We can get him. We can probably get him as a senior. I got a few things
we
work on with that, but this I was scared of that. I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah. But, they tweeted earlier, or he tweeted from his Twitter page a picture with him at Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah.
Or Coach Calipari. So You know, he's saying that he got an offer for them, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna have dozens of those. So,
son, that's the one and done school.
He in the mix, so he's a one and done player. So we could definitely see.
Don't be surprised. We just letting y'all know we want him to go to Target
right now,
or something like that.
Put in right now.
We would love for him to
Blue Devil.
No, we said Tar Heels or Gamecock. We ain't said nothing about no.
Coach K.
Oh man, Coach K back ain't strong enough for his iron right now, man. He working on.
It'd be a nice look for the kid. I'm just saying.
He don't want to be a doctor. He want to be a basketball player.
Well, Dookies don't really turn out to be all that great.
Yeah, they don't really do well in the NBA. You know, SEC.
That was really running Coach K. Now since the Kyrie era, we putting in studs.
Kyrie Irving?
Kyrie Irving, that's who I said.
Yeah, I mean, and we're going with Grant Hill.
Dookie, a.k.a. the best Dookie ever.
Does he really count?
Well, you
he only played 11 games at Duke, but it was not Duke.
Does that really count? I think, like, they got people in the scout squad got more games than Kyrie at Duke. I don't even count Kyrie as being a Duke.
Well, yeah,
that counts.
Being a Blue Devil.
Well, you shouted out the McDonald's team, the McDonald's game you was watching or whatever. So I got the roster for the 2017 lineup right here, so we can just shout them out real quick.
Oh, good, because I'm looking at that.
So on the East squad, we got at center Mohamed Bamba from West Lawn School in Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Coach can't get him too. he on that list.
You can mute him anytime you want, Smoke.
So far, he's undecided. We got Wendell Carter Jr., power forward from Pace Academy in the A.
What school is he going
Georgia.
to? What school is Wendell Carter going to?
Oh, since we're going to do that?
Aforementioned Duke.
No, wait, no. Okay, call out. Now call out all the rest of them, too.
Right.
That's since we're going to do that. Do that. No, since we want to do that.
We got Trevin Duval. He's a point guard from IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. He's undecided. We got Quade Green, if I'm saying it correctly, point guard from SS Newman Goretti High School in Philly. He's going to Kentucky. We got Kevin Knox II from Tampa Catholic High School. He's a small forward. He's undecided. Nicholas Roberts, the center. He went to the Patrick School in Hillside, New Jersey. His college is going to be Kentucky. We got Nicholas
Richards. I think his name is Nicholas Richards.
Yeah, Nicholas Richards. I read it wrong. Nicholas Richards. He's from the St. Patrick School in Hillside. Next player is Mitchell Robinson, the center from Chalmette High School in Chalmette, Louisiana. He's going to Western Kentucky. You got Colin Sexton.
Don't know how Western Kentucky pulled that one off.
Me either, because I thought they would have did it for football over basketball.
Man, that is a steal, Western Kentucky.
Yeah, but Western Kentucky been stepping up. But we'll get back to that. Go ahead, Smoke.
Let's see. So you got Colin Sexton, shooting guard from Pebblebrook High School in Mableton, Georgia. He's going to Alabama.
Yeah, I heard
Jared Vanderbilt.
He's a two-sport athlete, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Mr. Statman.
Yeah, Statman should know that. Is he a two-sport athlete?
Nah, he's just going to play basketball.
I'm saying, but in high school, he's a two-sport athlete, right?
Oh.
Like he had an opportunity to take a football scholarship, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't hear anything about that. I just know that he wanted to go play
one of them is a two-sport athlete.
Avery.
Alabama.
He wanted to play for Avery Johnson.
Oh, man. You got to have a lot of teeth in your mouth.
All right, so who you mentioned, that was Jared. No, okay, that was Colin Sexton. We got Jared Vanderbilt, power forward from Victory Prep Academy in Houston, Texas. He's going to Kentucky. We got Lonnie Walker IV, shooting guard from Reading High School in Reading, Pennsylvania. He's going to Miami. P.J. Washington Jr., power forward from Finley Prep in Henderson, Nevada. He's going to Kentucky.
And Kentucky got a straight starting lineup out there.
Yeah, we got Chris Wilkes. He's a small forward from North Central High School in Indianapolis, Indiana. He's going to UCLA. The head coach of the East team is Jim Martin from Providence School in Jacksonville. The assistant coach is Brian Hoff from Providence High School, also in Jacksonville, same school. And they got another assistant of Chip Stroud. That's Capisco School of Jacksonville. So the Jacksonville schools got the coaching on lockdown for the East team. And on the West team, we got...
Well, I was just going to ask a question. For these guys that's undecided, if they don't go to school but they sit out a year, can they still enter the league?
Nah, they all going to school. They just...
I know these are all Americans. They're going to go, but, I mean, I've just thought about it because we was calling the names out, and he was saying undecided. Can a kid do that?
Them dudes, they just trying to figure out who's going to go to the draft before they decide what school they going to. That's why most of them undecided dudes, they trying to see who going to leave from Kentucky or Duke or Carolina before they make their decision.
Okay. Makes sense.
They just trying to see where they was going to go.
But, I mean, that's for their situation. But what about kids who, like, say a kid who just, like, might be a straight D-League player. Like, right now, like, he might need the D-League to get developed. But he might not be, college might not be the thing. Might not have SAT scores, anything. But
go ahead.
I was like, can they, anyone, like, not necessarily sit out, but they didn't go to college, but say they just sat out a year and just train for a whole year. Since you only have to spend 1 year in college, if a kid just sat out and trained but didn't get reps in, maybe AAU, I don't know, but can they still enter the league? Can they go to the D-League or something like that?
Well, all you got to be is at least 19 years and 1 year removed from high school. So
to go to the
technically, guys could do that, but the D-League won't take you because the D-League is affiliated with the NBA. So right now, the D-League probably wouldn't mess with you. That's why you see dudes like Brandon Jennings and you had this dude from last year's recruiting class named Terrence Ferguson. He was committed to Arizona but then decided to go overseas. Them guys end up going overseas and playing basketball for a year.
Okay. Rubio did that, didn't he?
Nah, Rubio, he was Spanish. He
was drafted in high school, but he played overseas for a while. I mean, I guess that's his home though. So yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Well, Ricky Rubio, he was a pro since he was like 14 or 15 years old. So with them guys, they don't deal with the high school issue. That's why.
Yeah, you're right. I thought because coming over there is different.
You see them guys get drafted at they be pros.
Until he was 19 to come over here.
They be pros. Whenever somebody put them on a team, they can be 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds and be playing in professional leagues over there.
Yeah,
Rubio, he was a professional.
Ain't no workers permit over there, but you think about it. You got lucky you can play basketball. They put your ass in a coal mine somewhere too at 14 around there.
Oh man, all your sports.
Yeah, resident asshole, baby, resident asshole. I gotta tell it like it is. I say the things y'all be thinking about, man. I'm telling you.
Run down that west side of Mr. Smoke.
Yeah, and
west side.
He was calling all them Duke people. I heard
the West roster. Was you gonna go to the West roster next, Mr. Smoke?
Yeah, he was, but I heard more Kentucky than I heard Duke. I just want to put that out there.
Oh yeah.
I think that we had technical difficulties with Chuck, but we get him back on the line. When he called back, he's going to talk shit, so be prepared for that. But go ahead and start that West roster.
Yeah, for the West team, We got DeAndre Ayton. He's a center from Hillcrest Prep in Phoenix, Arizona. He's staying home and going to Arizona. We got Brian Tuggs, nicknamed Tuggs Bowen II. He's a small forward from Lumeri School, if I'm saying it right, in LaPorte, Indianapolis, L.A., and as a second word, Lumiere, Lumeri maybe, School in LaPorte, Indianapolis.
Okay, looks like we got Chuck back on the line. So I think
I don't know what happened. I'm sorry about the disconnect. I'm back though. I'm back.
No, I told him we had a few technical difficulties. We only got through 2 of the guys on the West anyway. But yeah, we got a new little studio set up. We're trying to get all the kinks worked out. People, we apologize, but
we apologize for the technical difficulties, people.
Well, we'll get them back. But and you said Lumeri, and where's that located, Smoke?
In LaPorte, Indiana.
Okay.
And
who we got after that? Oh, on the side? All right.
Troy Brown Jr., small forward from Centennial High School in Las Vegas. And he's going to Oregon. We got Jalen Tan, point guard from Foothills Christian High School in El Cajon, California. He's going to UCLA, staying in the state. Jaron Jackson Jr., power forward from La Lumeri School in LaPorte, Indiana. He's going to Michigan State. He's teammates with Brian Bowen, who we just mentioned. We got Brandon L. McCoy. He's a center from Cathedral Catholic High School in San Diego, California. He's undecided. We got Chuck O'Bannon Jr., Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's going to USC. Michael Porter Jr., small forward from Nathan Hale High School in Seattle, Washington. He's going to Missouri. We got Billy Preston, power forward from Oak Hill Academy in Mount of Wilson, Virginia. He's going to Kansas. Then we got another Dookie, Gary Trent Jr., shooting guard from Prolific Prep Academy in Napa, California. What do you want to say about him?
Gary Trent Jr., his dad was Gary Trent Sr., also known as the Shaq of the Mac when he played at Ohio. And he was a NBA player for, I think, about 10 years or so. And his son, Gary Trent, he hopefully brings some good things to the Duke University. Michael Porter Jr., though, he was the number 1 ranked recruit in the nation. And he originally committed to Washington, but they fired the coach. And his dad was on the coaching staff at Washington, too. So after they fired the coach, his dad went to Missouri with Quanzo Martin, who was formerly the coach at California Golden Bears. And Michael Porter asked for his release from Washington and ended up signing with Missouri. And he has a little brother that's trying to reclassify to the class of 2017 so he can go and play with his brother, the number 1 ranked recruit in the nation at Missouri, too.
I was about to say, Missouri and Western Kentucky got sleeper picks of the year. Maybe not necessarily sleeper, but they slid in. There's not basketball school. The brother had something to do with the Missouri thing, which is cool. I get that. Missouri won the lottery with that. But that Western Kentucky thing, that got to be a girlfriend or a homeboy. Like, you just don't, McDonald's All-American, don't just say, I'm going to Western Kentucky. Unless that's all his grades let him get into. I don't know. Either way, they pulled it off.
Yeah, they pulled it off. You know, with those situations, it'll be connections with the coaching staff. I was hearing something about Shamar Williams, former North Carolina Tar Heel and NBA player. He had some kind of connection with the coach at Western Kentucky, and he had some sort of relationship with the recruit going to Western Kentucky. So he's dealing with a lot of relationship with guys that be committing to teams. Mitchell Robinson. My bad.
Wasn't that our English teacher in college?
He's gone. All right, well, we only got two more. We got MJ Walker, shooting guard from Jonesboro High School in Jonesboro, Georgia. He's undecided. And Trey Young, point guard from Norman North High School in Norman, Oklahoma. And he's staying home at Oklahoma. The head coach is Gary D. Cesare from St. Rita Cacacia High School in Chicago. And assistant coach Justin Domingo, same high school. And Kenton Terrell from the same high school.
Chi-Town, baby.
Chirac.
Yeah, hey, they're trying to get out. I ain't mad at them.
Hey, man, I would be trying to get the hell out of there.
Everybody in Chicago need to be trying to get out if you don't play a sport, man. Talk.
That's
Chicago,
a fact. That's a fact. So now we've been talking about the the men's tournament, the men's NCAA tournament, and it being down to the Final Four. So now on this show, we got the results in for the Final Four for the women's bracket, for the women's tournament rather. So we got UConn, Mississippi State, South Carolina, and Stanford are all headed to Dallas to play in the Final Four for the women's championship.
You chuck into the end of this.
Does anybody beat UConn?
That's what. See, okay.
111 games in a row. I mean, they just been dominating for the last few years. Since Gino Auriemma has become a legend.
What's going to make that game
moving
great?
his team on the streak. Even before the streak, going in, he's played with so many great players. But 111 in a row. Does any of these other three teams knock UConn off the win?
Y'all already know what I'm going to say, and that's not because it's the hometown team. Them girls put in work. They got player of the year on their team right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going with them South Carolina girls because first time in the Final Four, yeah, but that's the team that has given UConn the troubles. Last year before that, we were supposed to. Last year, not so much. Year before that, yeah, we were. They had a nice little battle when they were started them 111 things. So Carolina owed them one, owed them a couple. I would love to see Carolina win, but I'm picking UConn and Carolina in the championship. And pause real quick. Some kid from McDonald's All-American just did something amazing. I don't even know who that was. Chuck, who was that? I know you watched it.
It might have been Colin Sexton. He's been looking like the guy that's going to Alabama. He's been looking like the most. He's been flashing off the screen. When I watch games, I just try to see whether it be football or basketball. I try to see who be flashing off the screen.
Yeah, we'll get back at it. But yeah, I like South Carolina versus UConn in that smoke. I really do. I think South Carolina need this, man. We really do. We really do, man. People over the world don't know. We've been through a lot. Slavery started here. I'm just joking. But it did, though. It did. No, real talk. Everybody,
right,
on the trip, they dropped all
you make a good point of it's being sort of like maybe a revenge game. Of course, in order for that to happen, both teams have to take care of business to meet up in the final. That being UConn and South Carolina. So now, going back to earlier this year, they matched up. South Carolina got beat by UConn. The score was like 66-55, but it was the 100th. It marked the 100th game in a row that UConn had won, and so now South Carolina's name is next to them, and that 100th win is like South Carolina is etched in right there. So I could definitely see that. It would be major for South Carolina for that to happen. For them to match up and for them to, exact revenge on them. The big Goliath monster, you know what I mean, in UConn, and all the games they won in a row, the 111, and, you know, the legendary coach, you know what I mean. It would be great to kind of correct that, them getting their 104 on them, even though that's what UConn does. They beat people. And so, you know what I mean, it would be interesting to see that matchup in the final. But, I mean, I'm kind of with you, too. It's like, it's hard to go against excellence, you know what I'm saying? And Gino Auriemma and the Huskies, they've shown that year by year. So, you know, I expect them to win again. But I think in that matchup, if it were to happen that way, you know, UConn, versus the Gamecocks, you know, it might be a more competitive game than the last time around. But ultimately, you know, if I'm a betting man, I'm going to bet on. I would lay bets on the Huskies, you know what I'm saying, to win that, if that matchup was to happen.
I'm not mad at you.
Man, this is Connecticut going for their 5th consecutive national championship. And
one for the thumb.
Yes, sir.
This is South Carolina's 2nd appearance in the Final Four. They was in the Final Four 2 years ago.
I thought it was the 16.
Nah, they was in the Final Four 2 years ago. I would give South Carolina a better chance, but they're missing one of their best players.
Not Asia.
Elena Coates. Her name is Elena Coates. She was first team all SEC this year. And they still have Asia Wilson, SEC Player of the Year on the team. But Elena Coates was one of their big players, and she's been out since the end of the regular season for South Carolina. So if you're going to beat UConn, you need to be at full throttle. And what's amazing about UConn is they lost their 3 best players last year to the WNBA draft, and they all went 1, 2, and 3 in the draft.
Yeah.
And they still came back and win. This team wasn't expected to go undefeated. This team was expected they wasn't the number 1 ranked team to begin the season. And this team wasn't expected to be that good, but Auriemma, he got something going on in Soros, Connecticut. Man, it's going to be hard to knock them off. It's going to be hard to knock them off. I would make them the favorite. Stanford has been in the tournament before. Their coach, Tara Vanderveer, she won 2 national championships, but that was back in the 90s, but she's a great coach. Dawn Staley, the South Carolina coach, she played in 3 Final Fours, but she wasn't able to win one. And this is
that's why it's time. We deserve one. Slavery. We had a 1,000-year flood here. Come on, man. We need this.
Yeah. Well, I did mention on the previous show that this is the height of South Carolina sports. This is the best time to be a fan of South Carolina sports if you're a fan of.
We always had loyal fans. If you're not a fan of nothing, we welcome you. If you've been floating around talking that yang, y'all sorry. Just like Clemson got a whole bunch of new fans too. There's a lot of people who weren't Clemson fans and now they fans. But let me tell you something. I don't want to jinx it, so I ain't going to say it yet. But if it happened, I'm going to talk shit on this radio show. Believe that. I believe that.
Guest calling number 563-999-3565. Call in and press 1 to share your opinion.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man. We're going to see. So it just seems like Connecticut is going to roll through as normal and claim their 5th straight. But the game has to be played.
You're absolutely right. I think it's going to be a good game, though, Smoke. I don't see Connecticut losing their game not to go to championship. I don't. There's been a lot of upsets in basketball, but the girls been holding pretty much true. So I see Carolina, Connecticut one more time, and this one for all the marbles, as they say. All the marbles. They're racing for slips on this one.
All right. So just switching gears a little bit.
What you was about to go to? Because I had a couple things I wanted to ask y'all.
Well, you know what, guy? What
okay. I just want to ask a couple questions
before we even switch. Guy.
Well, since it's still basketball, but it's kind of going NBA. I ran a few polls this week since the last show, and asked the world what they thought about because right now our biggest heated argument is the MVP, and it's a good argument because they have valid points from every side, even if Chuck be coming from left field. You know what I'm saying? But we've been doing pretty good on that. But I had a poll that said, who are you taking, since it's still basketball, but I asked about the MVP. And I asked, who do you think at this point in the game is more MVP ready? And matter of fact, the polls are still going on this vote. So if you want to go to SportsHoles Radio 1 on Twitter, you can. But as of right now, I'm gonna start from the bottom. 7% say LeBron, and that's the guy I actually started with, guy. 7% say LeBron, but as you heard me and Smoke, I'm on the fence. 14% pick Chuck Johnson's man, James Harden. 36% said Kawhi Leonard, and 43% said Russell Westbrook. So, and as I said his name, ding, he shows on TV.
People have spoken.
Yeah, and this is not just the assholes from SportsHoles. This is the world. The world, Craig. The world. And this is still going, so, I mean, people can still talk about that. But
I feel you, you know what I'm saying? I feel you tugging at the bandwagon, so I'm gonna let you
Nah, I ain't bandwagon.
Come on, son. Put your Russell Westbrook jersey on, son.
Not bandwagon, but I did bring something for Chuck.
What's that?
I did bring something for Chuck because that stat happened. Something else happened today that was, I don't know if it was today or last night, but James Harden hit 2,000 points. 2,000 points in.
Oh yeah.
2,000 points in 2,000.
Go ahead and read that stat.
I'm trying to pull it up, but my phone is.
I'm glad you brought that up because I wasn't thinking about it, but I'll go ahead and help you out.
Yeah,
you brought it up. James Harden is the first person in NBA history to score 2,000 points and then have his assists account for another 2,000 points.
Exactly.
Another feather in the cap of the MVP.
But
I'm glad you brought that up.
So my point in saying that was, my point in saying that is, as Chuck sits there and just does his whole just shooting straight across the field. Like, he took straight shots at Smoke just now. I don't know what happened. I missed it.
I can say something Russell Westbrook did that nobody else. Triple-double.
Thank you, sir.
Well, go ahead and bang it again. Russell Westbrook, first ever perfect triple-double. So I'm going to put a stamp on what I've been doing all season. Listen, I ain't got to do all that. We can vote that. We ain't going to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't put the atomic bomb on my joint, man. Stop putting that little light joint. You got to bring out the little picture for that. Ting, ting, ting. What's wrong with that guy? Down, boy.
Well, you went with a game stat.
The reason I brought that up is it makes it more valid now. So the reason I brought that up is, yeah, LeBron was shooting 50%, and yeah, I do like him. Yeah, I think he's probably more important. But right now, we got two people that have made NBA history. One has done something no one has ever done before. The other is doing something that, as Smoke stated as one of our stats on our earlier shows, y'all can check out on YouTube, SportsHoles Radio, that people thought 4 years ago a person averaging a triple-double was impossible, something that we would never see. That was And I think that was USA Today that ran that poll. So that's both history being made.
I think that was a Complex magazine.
Oh, Complex. Excuse me.
Yeah.
With the other stats were from USA on that. You're
right.
But
I'm pretty sure you can look at any periodical, any magazine, sports related, and if a story has been ran on the triple-double, it would say something to that same effect. You know what I mean? And then the fact of the matter is, like I said, he lost a top scorer, a top player of the league, who was a sidekick, or, however you want to label it, to lose a player of that magnitude in Kevin Durant and still be able to maintain in the Western Conference, which is a tougher conference, and still be a playoff team. You know what I'm saying? People earlier in the season before Kevin Durant got hurt, they looked at Kevin Durant as a possible MVP of the league. So This is the guy that he was playing with. So you're going to lose a guy of that magnitude to then still be able to maintain an average triple-double, step his levels up. Like, he stepped it up. He leveled up. It's like Fab said. So it's like, I don't understand what they, like, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on James Harden. James Harden having that year. I didn't think he would step up the way he did. But, I mean, to me, at the end of the day, averaging a triple-double, that's going to trump that. And I made the playoffs. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much by itself. Let's get it, man. Get that man the trophies.
And like I said, James Harden ain't playing with a cast of all-stars. He just playing with a cast of role players, too. He just playing with some role players, too. And he doing this thing. And he having a historic season, too. Not to take nothing away from Westbrook, because Westbrook's having... Well, James Harden has to get a piece of this MVP this year. It would be a tragedy and so not right if they don't give James Harden that MVP. He got to get an MVP this year. He's been balling. And he's been playing every game, but like I said, I wouldn't be mad if
Russell Wilson played every game.
Are you going to be upset if he don't get it?
I wouldn't be upset because...
It just all depends on who get it, though.
I mean, well, those are the only two viable candidates. I don't think nobody... I like LeBron, but they not winning as much no more. They done fell to the second seed.
Number one. Leonard Kawhi, San Antonio is going to take the 1 or 2 spot.
Yeah, San Antonio is going to be 1 or 2, but San Antonio is 6-1 when Kawhi Leonard doesn't play this year. When the voting is this close between guys, you got to find something to separate the guys. And Kawhi Leonard's team being 6-1 without him, that's not his fault. But his team is 6-1 without him this year, so I'm going to dock him a couple of points for that. I'm dock his run for sitting out a couple of games, even though he is one of the few people that have reached the stage where they can have a rest time. I'm still docking them for missing them games.
No, sir, come on, man. Like, I feel you on the rest now. I want you to dock him on that, but Kawhi Leonard had more rest because the dude had a concussion. Yeah, he did have a rest time, but he on a team, like, I ain't going to front. I ain't saying this because I know this for a fact. This is my opinion. I see LeBron telling his coach, like, yo, I need these days off, blah, 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 blah. For whatever reason, rest or not, he's going to get them days off. Or they're going to be like, LeBron, these are the days you could get off. What day do you want? Kawhi Leonard and Popovich, it's not an option. Popovich telling you when you sit down. But also,
no doubt.
So, Popovich he's telling you when you sit down. But also, Popovich is an old school coach, and like you say, old people get stuck in their ways. He's been sitting people since he had like Tim and them, but Tim and them were old, man. They was 30 plus. They needed to sit down. But now his team transformed to a somewhat young team, and he's still doing the same thing. And yeah, it might be smart, or he might just be stuck in his ways. That's just my opinion. I don't know. But I know LeBron probably got a couple of them days where, like, he pulled. Basically, LeBron did the same thing that Derrick Rose did. He just went through the protocol. It's like taking a day off at work. LeBron put his days in advance, Derrick Rose call out same day, no call, no show.
Yeah, Derrick Rose just had
a call out. I can't. I was like, I'm out, man.
Yeah, he used one of their currencies. He was like, screw it.
His production wasn't so high on the job.
So he had to take the write up. You know what I'm saying? LeBron, they let him get away with that.
I mean, speaking of LeBron now, they've lost 2 in a row, and now they're a half a game behind Boston.
Yeah.
So they really are in second place right now.
And Chuck, who I told you was my sleeper pick.
Yeah, you on the other side because we've been talking about you had the sleeper pick of Boston. Isaiah Thomas having a amazing year, and we was talking about earlier in our shows. You know what I mean, that when Kevin Durant got hurt, it changed the landscape. In our minds at that time, it was, well, at least for me, I can't speak for y'all. But I was saying that it could have changed the landscape. It would have given the chance to, the Cavs to cement their side of things and, maybe go into the playoffs with momentum, whereas, Golden State, at some point when he comes back, Kevin Durant, they're going to have to build that momentum back, get him back in the game, so forth. Now you see Cleveland, they've lost their lead. They're behind Boston. It's only a half a game, so, that can flip-flop and, Cleveland take the crown. But, at this point in the season, it seemed like that team should be rolling, getting better going into the season. They got veteran players on the team. You got LeBron, a yearly MVP candidate. What's going to happen with the Cavs? Is this just a little bit of growing pains, or are they just slacking off knowing they're going to get in the playoffs?
Let me tell you my theory on that.
Or is it really something to that? And vice versa, just so I don't got to mention it again, and vice versa, Kevin Durant's coming back. He has a target of the last 3 games of the season to come back. So it's looking like he's going to have about 3 games. To get in, some game rhythm going into the playoffs.
Good word.
Golden State should dust off whoever they play in the first round. But just, speak on that, dude. What's changed? Is the Cavs just going through something right now? Is that the mental boost that Golden State might need?
I want to say it like this. Callers, you can call in and give us your opinion, 563-999-3565. But I feel like this. I feel that LeBron and them took days off. And when they took those days off, that was unnecessary days off. Those unnecessary days kind of takes you out your rhythm. Now, when you need a day off, a.k.a. KD was hurt. So even if the doctors cleared him to come back, he might need a day or 2 to get himself back, like Smoke said, in the rhythm. When you're playing basketball well, might I add, you're playing basketball real well, and then you take a game off because it's a meaningless game, so-called, say to you. When you call it a meaningless game and come out, and then when you come back, and that rhythm is lost. And I'm not saying just that one game, but that when you're off and on, I'm playing now, I'm off here, playing now, I'm off here. Yeah, players, you're out of rhythm. When those games that your body is expected to get back in that rhythm, it's like muscle memory. You didn't get back in it. So right now, the games that you missed together and the games that you did play together but didn't play well, you didn't get to correct that a lot. So right now, you're trying to get back in a rhythm that you could have got in, that you probably would have been in if you would have stayed on course and played like you could have, instead of taking here off. That's just my theory on it. I don't know. And then at the same time, there are probably guys who, if y'all look at it, all these superstars take off. When superstars take off, you got all these other extra people on the court that don't produce, but they're just on the court. Now those guys who don't never play getting run, and now they beat up. So I mean the whole team is out of whack. It takes the whole rhythm out. That's just my theory on it. So it is what it is. Now, KD, on the other hand, I think they say he can come back in 4 or 5 games. He can come back. That's before the end of the season. If I were them, I might give him like the last 2 or 3 games. I might let him do that just to get, because it was a freakish accident the way it happened, just to get his body back in so-called basketball shape. You know, give him the last 2 or 3 games and then let him go into, because you don't want to go into the playoff fresh off an injury. So, I mean, you want to let him get back in there and get some run, but you don't want to overdo it either. You just kind of want to work the kinks off on that. That's how I feel on the Kevin Durant thing. And I think that put the Warriors in a better position because there was another team resting people. But if you got one person, because see, it's different when you sitting down by choice and when you have to. As an athlete, when you sit down because you have to, the only thing you think about is getting back on the court. What do I need to do to get back on the court, the field, whatever it is? Do I need to rehab? Do I need to stretch? Do I need to get up? Do I need to see this doctor? When you're taking days off because it's a meaningless game, you're not thinking about working. None of those guys are going to, they might go shoot a few free throws and run that day, but for the most part, they're thinking about the less amount of basketball as possible. So that makes a difference. So in the Warrior situation, they got a guy who has that heart and that drive to come back, where LeBron and them are trying to get back in the rhythm. It's almost like when you take 4 or 5 days off. Put it this way. Anybody who works a regular job, 9 to 5, and you only get 2 days off a week or less, and you take 4 or 5 days off consecutive, that first day you're off, you are super excited. That last day before you got to come back to work, you are like, damn, I got to go do this shit again. And that's what LeBron has put himself in a situation of versus having that rhythm of, we got this machine moving. What you think, Chuck?
Well, they've been playing some bad basketball lately. And they was playing bad basketball in January. And then in February they played a little bit better. And then now they back to playing bad basketball. And I know Kevin Love was out for an extended period of time. But like you saying, their rhythm is off. Their rhythm is totally off. And everybody say they could just flip the switch. I mean, Tyronn Lue act like they just going to flip the switch and be all right. And that might be possible when you got the King and Kyrie, but they not looking championship material right now. And I thought they was just a little. Well, I never thought it was going. Well, I probably did thought it was going to be a cakewalk to the finals, but the way they playing right now, they're gonna have to fight to get out the East. It's not just a given that Cleveland is gonna come out the East, and I probably would still pick them if it was gun to the head or I had to make a bet. I probably still pick them, but man, they're not looking very good. They are not looking very good. Dude.
Right now they falling the seeding against Indiana, and they got one more matchup with Indiana right now. Cleveland leads the series 2-1, and they got another matchup on April the 2nd. So if they stay in that second seed, let's say everything stays the way it is right now, they be playing Indiana versus the 8th seed, which right now is Miami, who Boston has taken over that play. Or that matchup, rather. So, we'll see how that second game turns out.
Boston and Cleveland got to play again before the season ends, and Boston's hungry.
And that's the game where people usually take off. That's the game where people are like, okay, I'm going to sit my players down. But guess what? If you wouldn't have sat your players earlier this year, you might have been up and you could have sat them down against Boston. Boston ain't sat nobody all year long. And now they about to come in there with a rhythm.
Yeah, and they, like I said, with the matchups, playoff matches, again, we got a little stretch to go before the end of the season. But, if everything was to stay the way it is, they would be playing Miami, who they beat in 4-0, for the they swept the season series. Them being Boston versus Miami. So it puts them in a more favorable matchup for them, you know, a team that they've been working over for the season. So, I mean, I still see LeBron and them, you know, coming out of it. I mean, they can get things together and beat Indiana even if they're in the second seed and go in and beat the rest of these teams. I mean, I don't see a big thing, you know, with it. But I do think, like, when you start seeing the competition, when you look at, like San Antonio, teams that Cleveland may play in the finals, San Antonio, Golden State, let's say those two teams. To me, that team is showing, like, Cleveland, they're showing kind of like a chink in the armor. You know what I mean? They should be gelling together, coming together. It just seems like a weakness, you know what I'm saying? Because since LeBron was complaining about getting players, you know, they had bad luck in using what's my man who got hurt? Andrew Bogut losing 58 seconds. Andrew Bogut.
Everything they needed, he might have had.
A lot of LeBron complaining, a lot more losses than should be.
They need Andrew Bogut was going to bring shot blocking to their team because Tristan Thompson, he's a good rebounder and he can play perimeter defense, but he doesn't protect the rim. And that makes LeBron kind of their best rim protector. Tristan Thompson, he grabs rebounds and catch some alley-oops, but they will miss Andrew Bogut not providing that rim protection. And they picked up Larry Sanders, former Milwaukee Buck, but he hasn't played in the NBA in like 2 years.
Yeah.
And so he's not going to provide no help. And that not only do Golden State and San Antonio see the chink in the armor, but Boston and Washington and Toronto see the chink in the armor.
Toronto, don't count Toronto out.
And they think, all right, Cleveland might be vulnerable, and they can be had before they make it to the finals.
And like you said, they're playing horrible basketball right now, Chuck. It's not looking good. It's too close to the end to be looking like this. You can't when you get ready to go to the playoffs, you need to have a swagger. You need to be going in there with a little attitude about. Right now, they look like, I don't know. They got that, man, where y'all trying to go for vacation look on their face. Oh, no.
Yeah, you wanna be grooving, and they definitely not doing that. They definitely not looking championship material right now.
I don't get it. But go ahead, boy. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh no, I was just gonna say they coach said they had he had a flip that a switch they think they could flip when the playoffs start. So maybe they saving this for the playoffs. But like you just said, I'd rather go in the playoffs playing good, not in the playoffs and trying to find a rhythm once the game starts.
Let me tell you, as an athlete, that switch, there is a switch, and it is mental. But it's not, people don't understand, it's not a switch you can kind of just turn on and off. You can't, okay, when that switch is on, you could play 4 quarters in an overtime and still want to play a whole nother game. That's when that switch is on. There's times when that switch is off and you still win. There's times when the switch is off and you're like, man, that was horrible. I don't know how in the hell we won that. I don't know how, but as an athlete, it's a switch. That switch comes on with it's almost like you have to do a sequence of things. All right, do y'all remember when to get 30 men in Contra, you had to do up, down, left, right, B, A, select, start? All right, the same thing with sports. You gotta have that practice, which, that's going to be there, but you got to practice like you play. If you don't practice like you play, you can play like you practice. So, and it might not make sense, but it makes a lot of sense. So the practice, your whole routine, your regiment, the biggest thing outside of practice.
So not the game.
Is the game.
Not
exactly.
The game.
No, exactly.
You're talking about practice.
That's what I'm saying. Outside of practice are these games. And when I say a rhythm of a game, You practice with guys. You practice with guys every day. And when you practice with those same guys, you get sick of playing with them. But when you see another team on the court and you have that I'm not sitting down feeling, that's when that switch is on. But now, then, like I said, guys going to the office telling coach, hey, I need these days off in March. I need these days off in April. You know, we got to work that out. That's when that switch is not on because you already got in your mind made up that you're not about to play these few games. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with you. Like just imagine if Phil Jackson was supposed to be the greatest coach ever. He did screw up New York, but it wasn't as a coach, but he did that. But anyway, imagine Phil Jackson telling Michael Jordan, hey, I'm going to sit you down. What in the hell do you think? The media would have went fool, man. I'm talking like,
nah.
Yeah, real talk.
Michael Jordan wasn't. And Kobe was on TV the other day, too, saying the coach ain't even thought about going to him and asking him to sit down.
Like, Kobe another one. Imagine Phil Jackson.
That wasn't even an option.
Yeah, like, go sit down. What? I don't care if we up 100 games. I'm not sitting down, bro. Like, you could pull me in the fourth if you want to do that. But I'm not sitting down. Matter of fact, you could pull me after 10 minutes or whatever it is. Yeah, I got to run at least 4 or 5 minutes in the fourth, but you can pull me, but I'm not sitting down like these. And then what irritates me with the sitting down thing is these cats be on the sideline joking and laughing. Everything is social media. Like they know the camera's on them. They know people taking pictures. It's a fashion show, an ugly fashion show. But I don't think they take basketball serious as a lot of the other cats do because it's all about endorsements and looking cool now. No one really, like I said earlier, AAU, too many of these guys are friends, man. Like, when you hated a player, you was not going to miss a game against him. Like, you're not going to, when you like, yo, Charles Barkley coming where? For what? Oh, we up 7 games, I don't got to play? Nah, screw that. I'm about to give Charles the business. You know what I'm saying?
All right, well, we coming now to the last few minutes of the, episode 6. The guest calling number is 563-999-3565. You know what I'm saying? Give us a call. You got a few minutes to call in and listen to the rest of the show. Press 1 if you need to share your opinion. All right, keep it going, son.
Yeah, but like these guys are buddy, man. So right now, when you got this whole buddy league, AAU, and I hang out, I don't care who you hang out with, man. Your friends is your friends. But a lot of these guys, if they didn't play basketball, or even if they did play basketball, a lot of these guys, if it wasn't for social media and looking cool, would not hang out with each other, bro. They would not. Like, be real. Like, we really just now finding out later years who Michael Jordan hung out with. We knew what teammates he ran with, what we heard in the news, but we didn't know what was really going on behind them doors till later. Now everybody got a phone, and so I mean these guys trying to look cool. So D-Wade gonna hang out with LeBron gonna hang out with Kyrie, and Kyrie gonna hang out with Steph, and Steph gonna hang out with Katie, and it's a whole. Matter of fact, I saw more basketball players in that Dave Chappelle and what's that David Blaine video than I did anything. I was like, well, was this a basketball game? They were like, no, they backstage. They just hang out. Everybody's hanging out. When they're on the basketball court, they hanging out. That's why I like Russell Westbrook, because he don't hang out with nobody. That's why you don't see him in pictures. That's why when you see him dressed crazy, he be by himself. Even his commercials, he's by his damn self. That's why he play angry, because he don't like none of them people. He ain't gonna miss no game.
That was very well said. That was very well said, homie. I couldn't agree with you more.
From the mind of Marshall.
Yeah, real talk.
Well,
yeah, because I don't like all that. I don't like all the fraternizing either. It takes some of that.
Ain't that many damn friends in the world, man. Man, these cats got more friends than they got on Facebook. On the court, man, real talk. Oh, that's my dog. You're like, nah, man, I don't fuck with you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the competitive nature is down. Well, you at the close of our show for this week or whatever. So I hope y'all guys enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? Keep calling in, you know what I'm saying? We got our first call this week, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Grim, our first caller. You know what I mean? We're going to put him up on the SportsHoles wall You know what I mean? Or whatever. But, you know what I mean? Keep calling in, keep shouting us out on Twitter, keep responding to the joints RB be putting up there. AJ puts up the polls and stats or whatever, because we see y'all responding.
Yeah.
So, Chuck, man, I know you've been ranting off these last few shows, man. You ain't got a rant to close us out with, bro?
I wanted to give some props to Devin Booker for scoring 70 the other night. Yeah, I said 70. 6 players in the history of the league have scored 70 points in the game. Now, I didn't like that. I didn't like how the teammates was all happy and they was calling man timeouts to get to 70. But 70 is 70, man. And he was a 20-year-old that scored 70. He's the youngest person in the history of the league to score 60 points in the game. And not only did he cross the 60-point threshold, he scored 70. Devin Booker, I think, is the future of the two-guard position. I think Devin Booker might be the future of this. To me, watching him play, he looks like a Klay Thompson that can handle the ball, too. Like, Klay Thompson really is just a catch-and-shoot type of guy. He doesn't really dribble the ball that much. He's just a catch-and-shoot guy, but no disrespect. And he plays his defense, too. But Devin Booker look like he has a little bit more in this game. And I kind of see Devin Booker, he don't like nobody on the court, too. He really ain't about the friends. So
another angry black man?
Well, he ain't really angry. He just, like you said, socializing on the court. He ain't with the socializing. He ain't with the socializing.
I like that.
After he scored 70, Jay Crowder was like, man, how you celebrating 70 in the loss? He was like, Jay Crowder, you can't guard me. Jay Crowder didn't respond.
Yeah.
and Jay Crowder's a big-time defensive player.
He did respond. He said, I was talking to the dudes around you.
Yeah, he didn't go because he's going to have to see him on the wing for the next 10 to 15 years. And like I said, Devin Booker, future of the league at the two-guard position.
Well, I'm going to say this. If you scored 70 points, you had to be.
Salute.
Yeah, he had to be.
Salute. Devin Booker, 7-0. That's what it is. The youngest to do it.
I like it. I love it. SportsHoles, we out. Holla.
Word, big 7-0. Word. Peace.
Daddy, where do babies come from?
Honey?
Mommy went to the store.
Oh, well, you see, there's a mommy and a daddy, right?
Right.
And see, when they call Geico, they could save a bunch of money on car insurance.
Oh, really? And that makes them happy?
Yes, that makes them very happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could have this talk, Sunshine.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Progressive brings you Flowetry with Flo.
When Flo flows, she flows in the know. Mind ruminates the rates. Shown them all, I heed the call. Seeing the rest, I choose the best. Sometimes it's ours, sometimes it's not. When the fox walks, is it called a fox trot? That's a real question.
Compare Progressive Direct rates with competitors' rates. Visit Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.